everybody likes Luke Skywalker's green lightsaber, right? Everyone always talks about the Excalibur Skywalker Anakin lightsaber, but everybody loves Luke's lightsaber. So we're going to talk about, will it return in future movies? Luke might not, but maybe the caretakers sell it. Who knows? Will we see that? So we're going to talk about that and a lot more. So welcome everybody to the Resistance broadcast. I'm John. That is Lacey, and we are here to talk about Luke's lightsaber and a lot of other things. We got Will of the Force. We have a cool discussion we're going to have that will probably be pretty fun. And then the fun won't stop there because we have a great Resistance transmissions for you that I hope lives up to Lacey's laugh standards. But Lacey, what is going on? What's going on with you? How's life? I know you were sick. You're still getting over it a bit.
I am.
It's good to see you. What's going on?
Yeah, so this episode's going up a day late, and we apologize about that because my daughter and all the happiness I expressed last week of her going to preschool and the milestone of how lovely that is. She went to school for 2 days, shortened week, and brought home a cold that she promptly gave to me, and I've been suffering through it. And every single person that I've talked to has been like, "Oh, buckle up, you're just starting," and I'm like, "It's been 3 days," and they're like, "You have no idea." So that's been enjoyable, but overall it's been, it is what it is. Also, the season's changing where we live. So it's like hot and then cold at night and then hot sometimes and then rainy and cold. So it's not simple to stay on top of the cold stuff when the elements are against you as well. But I do have an interesting story to tell. So I took my son to the library for story time. They do library story time where they like read books and sing songs and stuff. And during library, I get a call on my phone into my watch that says U.S. Postal Service. And I'm like, well, this is clearly a scam. And I totally declined
I would think the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was like, decline. So I go to walk out my car afterwards and I see a voicemail pop up. And I listen to it, and it's the lady from the post office being like, "Hey, we have a package here for you if you want to come get it for your P.O. box." Now, I'm just going to give a little note that I no longer have a P.O. box, and John doesn't have a P.O. box, and the podcast doesn't have a P.O. box. We used to, but we decided to stop having one because we didn't really need it and, allocate funds elsewhere to making the podcast better. Like literally what it is. It's gotten expensive. So anyway, I was very surprised. I was like, that's impossible. It's been years. So I get to the post office and the lady brings out the package and I'm like, "Hey, I'm here. Check my ID. I said, "This is so weird. I don't have a P.O. box." She goes, "Yeah, I know." And she was like very annoyed. And I was like, "I'm sorry." So she hands me this big gigantic box and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what could this be?" So I bring it home, I open it up, and I must say his name must be Dekind Awakens because our buddy Mark sent me legit a Kylo Ren costume, the helmet and the whole coat and everything. It was one of the nicest things someone has ever done to me, or done for me, I should say. I was at a loss for words. Weeks ago, we were talking about collecting, and I said my big white whale right now is the Kylo Ren helmet with the voice changer from Hasbro. And I just want to say, Mark, you're so kind. You didn't have to do that. It means a lot to me. It's in the box on my dining room table. That's why I haven't shown it yet. I literally have had the craziest day and ran up here, but it will be behind me every podcast moving forward. So take a look next week. It will be there. So thank you so much. It means a lot. We really appreciate it. And John he got you that JJ, right? And you just showed it.
Well, he sent it to the podcast, but I was like, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
So
I know.
But Mark also sent me a very, how do I put this? A very unique and special version of the original Star Wars trilogy that I cherish.
I just want to say that this community means so much. I'm not just speaking. I'm speaking for John too. Obviously, it means a lot to both of us. But from my personal perspective, it just means so much to me that you guys listen to us every week, that you support us, that you share the episode, that you chime in, leave comments. And I just want you to know that with the life being crazy right now for both of us, if we don't necessarily respond immediately, it's not that we don't care or we aren't seeing you or that you don't matter, because you do. It's just we're trying to do the best we can, and there's so many avenues now for people to reach out that we do our best. But Mark, you are a shining example of why the TRB community is an awesome place, and thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it, and it made my day after being sick for the past week and being miserable. That I was like, wow, someone out there cares. So thank you. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, Mark is the man. He's been listening to us for a long time, and a lot of the things he has shared with us over the years in terms of his experience using the podcasts for his own well-being and all that without getting further down into it. He's one of the special ones, and I was glad we were able to hang out with him in Anaheim at Celebration, and hopefully we see him again, maybe in LA.
And he's
Mark,
lucky
what do you think?
to live in Hawaii. That's like on my bucket list to go there. I just watched Lilo
Man.
and Stitch with Archie and Daisy, and like, man, do I want to go. And I know it's animated. I didn't watch the live action. I watched the
I was gonna
animated.
say,
But I still want to go.
Lacey wants to go to Visual Effects Hawaii.
No. Animated. Currently animated Hawaii.
No, yeah, that's amazing, and yeah, I'll just quickly echo. The TRB community is amazing, and you see that when we're at live events. You see that in our Discord server. You see how people have developed these friendships. It's really amazing, and it means a great deal to us. So, thank you all. But let's get into some fun. You know the deal. The podcast is on all the apps, Spotify, Apple, everywhere. Please find the Resistance Broadcast. Follow us, subscribe. If it has a rating system, we've seen a bunch of people put in new ratings lately. Thank you. 5 stars would be awesome. We appreciate that. And then the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@TRB podcasts and more. We'll get into our Patreon later with Lacey. But Lacey, before we get into Will of the Force, 2 quick stories. One, I'm a little upset James isn't here for, because it's one of his favorite characters, and we're talking about Jim Cummings, legendary voice of Winnie the Pooh, of course. Hondo Ohnaka was interviewed by the Direct, and he said that Hondo isn't done yet. More Hondo is coming, and a lot of people have immediately speculated that means Maul Shadow Lord for the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts on this? I know you like Hondo. You're not a huge fan of Hondo, but you like him. He's fun. He's entertaining. He's a pirate. A lot of people were like, Hondo's going to be in Skeleton Crew, and that didn't happen. So
It seemed like an obvious place for him.
I'm glad this interview didn't happen before that came out, because then everyone would be expecting him there, and then he wouldn't have shown up, and it would have been like, screw those guys. But what do you think about this? Do you think Maul Shadow Lord, or do you think Hondo's going to pop up somewhere else? What are your thoughts? Obviously, something's cooking.
I think Hondo's going to pop up in the Lego series.
Oh,
that's about to come out, and he sang it close enough that he's not going to get in trouble because it's right around the corner. So it leaves enough kind of mystery in the air that people are like, oh, what could it mean? Where is he going to be? And they bring in everybody for the Lego stuff, like original voices, people that do obviously good impressions, but especially with roles like Hondo, they would probably just bring in Jim Cummings. Is that a smart answer? You look very wowed at my answer.
No, I didn't even think of it. That's why. So I think that's a great pick. I think that's probably on the money. I can go either way. If it makes sense for him to pop up in the Maul show, cool. But this makes way more sense. Which Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past hits Disney Plus on September 19th. So that is
next Friday.
Week from today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If we happen to get lucky to get early screenings of that, we'll put out our thoughts early for everybody. But if not, we'll see you on September 19th, because that is a fun little romp.
Yeah, maybe we should do a watch along for Patreon.
That'd be cool. And then the next item in our warm up is the dark evil sphere. Wants that's no moon. It's the sphere. It wants to do to Star Wars, Lacey, the same thing it did for Wizard of Oz, but they've been unable to strike a deal because Disney wants more involvement in how it's made. So to me, that sounds like Disney is kicking the tires. They're interested. Bob's like, yeah, the sphere's big. I get that. But it also sounds like Disney is rightfully being protective of something that is in my opinion, more sacred to fans than the original Wizard of Oz. So, what are your thoughts
Mm,
on this? We've talked about the Sphere a lot on Nerdy and Nice. We gave our honest thoughts about the Wizard of Oz. We don't have to rehash that. Long story short, both of us think it's not good with the
trash,
AI and
trash.
all that. So, Lacey, I assume you're in the same bucket with Star Wars here.
I am in the same spot if it's AI related.
Okay.
If AI is being used and they're doing a hack job on Star Wars in a way that George Lucas would never approve, then I would be like, absolutely not. If Disney and Lucasfilm are pushing back, saying, "Look, we do want to do the Sphere, but we want to do it our way with proper visual effects, and we want sign off from George, or we want our people consulting so that it looks great, sounds great, is great." I think this could be a big pull for the Sphere. I would go to Vegas to go sit through this thing. That looks awesome. Like you get to be in
Really?
a full space battle for Star Wars in the
Oh my god.
Sphere. Could you
Yeah.
imagine? But it has to be done right. I don't want AI. Use actual visual effects artists. Like actually get Lucasfilm involved. Don't throw it into a machine and say, "Give me this." You know what I mean? Because the Wizard of Oz thing looked terrible. Like it didn't look good. And I think
Yeah,
that
they
you could have
carved
a
it up
really
and
cool um experience with Star Wars. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the full movie. It could just be like an hour long travel through the galaxy where they make special scenarios, kind of like Star Tours, that you get to see some scenes and then some other space scenes and then pod racing or something like that. Like it could be very cool, but it has to be done right.
I feel like the biggest pull to do this is that opening shot of the Star Destroyer.
Oh my
Like,
god. Yeah, could you imagine? It will be literally ship
oh,
size.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That would be flying over your head and all that. That's the moment I think people would really go see that in.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I don't know. We'll see if anything comes of this, but it is interesting nonetheless. But it is time to get into the meat of the show, and we're going to kick things off with LG and Will of the Force.
I fear nothing, for all is as the Force wills it.
So, as John hinted to, there are lots of ways you can support us. You can like this video, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Hi, hello. You can also follow us on any audio platform from Spotify to Apple Podcasts and leave a review, please. Let us know how we're doing. It gets us in the algorithm. We all love that word, algorithm. And then you can follow us on social media at TRB Podcasts and just let us know how we're doing. Chime in on what we're talking about. We want to hear what you think. If you want to be more than that, want to be a part of the community more than that, starting at just $5 a month, patreon.com/TRB podcasts. You can support what we do here. And as you go up in the tiers, you get merch, you get opportunities to join our Discord, which is absolutely fabulous. As life gets crazy sometimes and really hard to handle, that place is like a special log on for me to see what people are talking about and chime in and see people's photos and stuff. It's really nice. And then also be a part of the show. And that's where this comes in. So Will of the Force is an opportunity to hear from you guys on Patreon. And it's will they, won't they situationals that you guys pose and we answer accordingly. But yeah, so also, just a side note, if you are thinking about it, you can join Patreon for free. And what it does is it lets you know when we post any new episodes or any updates from us. It will send you emails for that. So that's nice because sometimes people are like, "Oh, when's the episode coming out?" And you'll get an alert immediately into your inbox. So that's nice too, and you can join for free. All right. So first up, we have Patreon submission, new major, Dennis Gill. What up, Dennis? Hello,
Dennis.
by the way. Um, will we ever see a droid in Star Wars similar to Ash or David from the Alien franchise? A robot that appears and acts human, or even a human droid hybrid? With all the technology in a galaxy far, far away, it seems possible, and it could open the door to powerful stories about droid and cyborg rights. Wow, great question. John, what do you think?
Man, that's really tough. Um, the odds are probably leaning more towards yes, because I feel like Star Wars is always looking for how to do new things in Star Wars, and that would make sense. But for whatever reason, I'm gonna say no here. I feel like George Lucas liked the separation between droids and humans. Um, yeah, that's as simple as I can get with that answer. I mean, I think it'd be really cool. I love when movies do that kind of stuff, and like, even though it was a bad movie in my opinion, the movie AI, like really messed with my head because you see this little boy and it's hard to like tell your eyes and your brain that it's not a little boy. It's a very
Uh-huh.
messed up like thing. So it's so complicated that it might be like a little dark for Star Wars depending on how they handle it because like these characters in the Alien franchise, it doesn't end well. So curious, but it's a great question, Dennis. I've never thought about it and now I am. So I love that. But for whatever reason, I'm going to say no. I don't know why.
So I'm actually going to be a little nerdy with this right now, and I don't know where I'm getting this information from. This is totally deeper than I ever thought I knew. I can only give this information credit from probably Schmodown, like from my Schmodown days. But there are cyborg, half humans in Solo, called the decraniated people. It's the half head
Oh,
sliced people that are
yeah.
servants for Dryden Voss. They were humans that were taken and then basically stripped of their identity and their own ability to like think and just made into half cyborg, half human servants. And they were sold in
Right.
a catalog by Evazan, um, to Dryden Voss on First Light. So that's why one of the reasons why I found, which by the way is a very interesting tie-in to Evazan working on these, which then ties them back to A New Hope and Rogue One. It's the same guy that gets his
Yep.
arm chopped off.
The
Um,
doctor.
yeah, and because there's a picture here on, I want to give Wikipedia some credit. They have a picture of Evazan working on one of the servants with the head with the guy with the orange jacket, Pondo Baba.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like those are the things that I'm like, man, they really thought this through. And then also, I believe, and I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure, and this also goes back to kind of studying and like deep diving days, is those spider characters in A New Hope have brains in the bowl, and those brains are old monks that like had their
Oh,
brains taken
Jedi.
and then
Yeah.
and put into these spider robot characters. So like that's like more cyborg than human, whereas these other ones are more human than cyborg. But that plays into your question, Dennis, which is an awesome question, by the way. It's so interesting. Um, I think that we totally could get some type of half human droid. I think the closest thing we got to a droid that really spoke their mind in a way that we've never experienced is probably L337 in Solo. Was very much against the treatment of droids, droid rights. Obviously, oh my god, I'm blanking right now on the guy from Rogue One, Alan Tudyk's guy,
K2.
K2. Yes, he's also on that same kind of par of he's been woken up to like having more of an identity or the ability to process things on his own, but still he follows orders from Cassian. Um, but yeah, this is such an interesting question, and I haven't seen Alien, so I can't speak to those characters that you mentioned, but I think that this is definitely in a thread of more of the sci-fi side of Star Wars than fantasy, which is always welcomed because I think sometimes we don't get as much sci-fi or we get too much sci-fi sometimes with Star Wars, but I think there can be an even kind of thread there where you have this cyborg rights, powerful stories of someone being kind of trapped in this situation. Because I think the new is it the Predator movie, I think, has Elle Fanning as like a half cyborg, half human character, and the Predator's carrying her on his back, where he got
Oh,
the director Dan Trachtenberg got the idea from Chewbacca carrying C-3PO on his back. That's where they got the scene from. It was over the summer
nice.
at San Diego that he showed the shot and talked about it. So we are seeing that in other franchises. So I wouldn't be surprised if we, see it eventually in Star Wars as well. I would hope that we'd see more droids and aliens in general. I think Andor season 2 did a way better job of doing that, from like little pets to different aliens and stuff, but I don't feel got enough. I don't think we got
Yeah.
enough characters. I mean, we got Claude in Rise of Skywalker for like 2 seconds, but the
Yeah.
only kind of yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like droids work better when it's for humor in Star Wars.
Comic relief,
Um,
which I think is the
y-
original purpose of them, yeah.
yeah. And like a humanoid droid always tends to lean into like something that like a identity crisis thing is always like introduced there, and like then they have like Data from Star Trek is the same thing, so maybe they're like shying away from that, but it's got it. We've been talking about it for a long time. So Dennis, way to hit a home run out of the park with your first Will of the Force question.
Yeah, we did get another look at something like that with the Vision story. I'm blanking on the title of it, but it was the one with the little boy that's half cyborg, half or he is a droid, but then it was like kind of like Pinocchio where the guy worked on the little boy and it was very like blue tones, he's in space. I forget what it was called.
Oh, Tube Toby one, Toby.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It was like kind of like a Pinocchio droid story where it's like a little boy who's a droid.
yeah. Dreams of being a Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Dennis, great question. I think there's a lot here that we could probably unpack further on other episodes, but like really awesome start. Then welcome to TRB Resistance. All right. So the next one is will Luke Skywalker, oh my god, Luke Skywalker's green lightsaber ever be retrieved from Octo and used in future movies or shows, John?
I'm gonna say no. And the reason I believe that is Luke is very precious to fans. We saw the reaction to how Luke was portrayed in The Last Jedi and beyond. Um, and that green lightsaber goes right with it. When people saw him return in The Mandalorian and saw that green lightsaber, it does things to people. It gives people goosebumps, it gives people chills. It's just different. And as much as I think it would be cool, because I do think the buried lightsabers, which includes Anakin's and Leia's, are going to resurface. But Luke's right now, canonically, I believe it's with the caretakers on Octo. Once he went there, he never took it with him because he never left. We forget that sometimes, that Luke never left the island. I don't think they're going to bring it back because the fear of another character using Luke's lightsaber, it might be a little too much.
Yeah, did we ever find out where it is or it's just kind of like assumed it's there? Because my thought is that he threw it in the water like the plane.
Last I read up on it is that the caretakers have it. Like
Oh,
they
they just
found
have
it.
it.
They like once he died, they found all
Ransacked his
his
place.
stuff and like they like put it somewhere because he is a Jedi and they're the caretakers of this island, which was the first
Mm.
Jedi temple. So it's being stored away somewhere, and I'd like to think that maybe it's gonna stay there, but we'll see.
I think Luke is him and everything that has to deal with him, including his items like his lightsaber, are staying on Octo. So I don't think they will not bring that back. I'm one of the biggest people that's like, why didn't Rey get more time with her lightsaber? Like, why did we spend so much time with her playing with someone else's or like fighting with someone else's? She should be using her own. And then we get it at the end, and it's this wonderful yellow, everything I dreamed of lightsaber with a switch ignition, and they didn't even use it. They have her light it, and then she walks away, and you're like, what? Why didn't she fight Kylo with that? Like, that would have been so epic. It would have been like kind of McDonald's themed, but it's okay. It still would have been sick.
Wait,
Red and
why
yellow.
McDonald's themed?
Red and yellow is McDonald's. Those are
Are
McDonald's
those
colors.
Oh, I always think of Hulk Hogan.
No, the arc is yellow, and then the
Yeah, I
background
guess
door is
so.
red.
Yeah, I never really thought of McDonald's having those colors, but I guess you're right.
The colors are to invoke urgency so that you don't stick around. You eat and you leave quickly. Fun
Is that
fact.
true?
Yes.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Like Taco Bell's taking on a purple theme. What does that mean?
I don't know. I've been craving Taco Bell hard the past 2 weeks. I don't know if it's because I'm like not feeling well. Like sometimes when I don't feel well, like I just want to eat terrible things because I feel like, oh, that's gonna do something to my body and like jumpstart it.
That makes sense. That logic is perfect.
It makes no sense whatsoever, but I don't know. It's like in my brain for some reason. I think it's because when I was younger, that's what I would do. Like if I didn't feel well, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go get Taco Bell or I'm gonna go get a burger or something, and then I'd feel good the next day because I'd be like, clearly that's what helped me and not like a full night's sleep or something.
Yeah.
Some deep-seated thing. Anyway, but
Are
yeah,
you
I think
saying you
Luke's
want to
got
do? Are you saying you want to do another challenge? Is that what's happening?
okay. I just want to note for people that are new here, we did a taco challenge years ago. It was pretty disgusting because we did it on a live show and everybody could hear us eating. It was pretty gnarly. And not in the fun K-pop cat's eye way, like gnarly, like wrong. Yeah, it was bad. But John won, and I just want to note he won by one taco. I was right there neck and neck with him. James was just like casually eating these tacos. Like he didn't understand the competition at all. He was just like having tacos for dinner. John and I were
Did you finish or no?
yes.
You were just behind me a little.
I was one taco behind you.
I
Because
definitely
at
took
the
one
end, when we were
taco
neck and neck at one point, and you took one and just shoved it in your mouth because you
That's
were like
right.
determined to make sure I did not win.
Oh, I was over the
Um,
top with it for sure.
Yeah, I'm craving it. I don't know. Anyway, I don't care what people say. I love Taco Bell. And also I felt fine the next day. Like everybody kept making comments in the thread being like, you're gonna feel so sick tomorrow, blah blah. Good luck having a good weekend. I felt fine. I felt like dehydrated from all the salt, but besides that, I felt fine. I don't know if maybe I'm my 90s body. You know, growing up, I'm built differently than people
Your
nowadays.
90s body.
Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on. We have Patreon submission from Commander Joey. What up, Joey? How's it going, man? He said, will Disney parks ever add another ride to Galaxy's Edge? Ooh, great question. Guys, you are hitting so hard tonight. I love Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance, but I feel like one more ride would help round out the land. Couldn't he put a thinking emoji like, what do you
Yeah.
think? John, thoughts?
I think they definitely will. I wonder if they're waiting to see out of the new stuff what really hits the zeitgeist and gets the larger fandom, the general fans, the people who go to the parks. Like if Starfighter just crushes it, maybe they make a Starfighter ride. Like I think they are doing this. Slowly pivoting. Jeez. Pivot. Slowly pivoting away. Pivot! They're slowly pivoting away from the trap between episodes 8 and 9, which was always a mistake, in my opinion. So I think they are going to open it up. I do believe that there's been reports confirmed that there's easily land space that they have there right next to Galaxy's Edge. They could expand it. So I think it is
In
absolutely
Florida.
happening in Florida. Yeah.
I don't think California has the land, but I think Florida does.
They'll be fine. So I think it will happen at Disney World for sure. Not sure about Disneyland, but Disney World for sure. And it's a matter of when, not if.
That's a good answer. I have to agree. I think Disney is always trying to not joke about pivoting, but they're always looking to add more to the experience and add more to why they can charge you what they charge you at the parks, more to the experience, as I call it. And I think that for me, even as a diehard Star Wars fan, when you get there, there's, a couple food stands, there's the Smuggler's Run, then there's Rise of the Resistance, and there's Oga's, and that's pretty much it. It's cool to walk through and take fun photos. I'm sure Instagram people would not have the life that they have without being able to pose in that land because they have so many spots that you can pose in, which I
So
appreciate.
many.
But when you're on a schedule of seeing so many things and like getting through, like, oh, we got to get through so many rides a day, and you're making trips like we are, where you have like one day to see everything. There's not much to see there. It's like you see the things and you get a Ronto wrap and you get out of there.
Yeah, you get there early
and-
for the morning wrap, the breakfast.
the
one.
breakfast wrap was so good. I remember I told you, I was like, I'm getting you a wrap, and once again, I'm right.
Everybody thank Lacey for making me get a breakfast.
I would
Ronto
kill
wrap.
for one of those right now, by the way. I would love a breakfast Ronto wrap right now. I'm
Yeah, it'd be
not
good.
even like a hot dog sausage person, but like those are good. They're really good. The pita bread is so
Yeah.
delicious. I think
I
they
don't
just
like
raised
the
the prices on
slaw.
those.
I don't like the slaw in the lunch one.
Oh, I'm not a big coleslaw person.
They got the shredded carrots in there. I don't need that
It's
stuff.
like cabbage with mayo just mixed together. Yeah, not really my thing. But the breakfast one was it eggs, right? They put eggs in there.
They put
and then a sauce.
eggs. They put
Oh
sausage.
my god.
Some
So
sauce. Yeah.
All right. Last question, which was clearly written by John, so I'm going to read it the exact way he wrote it, which is, will the MCALT, parenthesis, we don't say midichlorians anymore, parenthesis, and cloning subplot of the Mandalorian be explored in The Mandalorian and Grogu, John?
Will the M count and cloning subplot of the Mandalorian
You wrote the question.
be explored further in the Mandalorian and Grogu? But you were laughing while you were reading it, so I was nervous. The audience was like, "What? What did she say?"
All right.
Hmm?
Well, they talk about midichlorians in The Mandalorian and Grogu. That's the question.
I'm gonna say, well, and this cloning subplot as well. I'm gonna say no. They haven't really delved deeper into it. Like in season 3 I'm trying to think about how much of it was talked about in season 3. So I'm gonna say no. I have this feeling that the one thing that might disappoint Star Wars fans with the Mandalorian and Grogu is I'm not entirely sure it's going to be something that feeds into the greater story of Star Wars. I have a feeling it's going to be one adventure, one like mission that they have to do, but the biggest takeaway is going to be the further growth of the bond and relationship between Din and Grogu. Like, so with that, I don't know that they're going to keep trying to do this loose tie-in with the sequels with the cloning stuff. So I'm going to say no.
I think they will. I think they will explore this cloning subplot. They had the Moff Gideon cloning thing. It was clearly an Imperial remnant priority with the whole council that they had that they didn't really talk about that much more of. I think it's going to be the underlying. It's not going to be like in the forefront. It's going to be like kind of this undertone thing where it's like something crazy is going on. And you see them in the teaser we saw at Celebration, and some of the stuff leaked online, but I'm speaking from seeing it with my own eyes at Celebration. They did have a lot of Imperial moments where they're like fighting AT-ATs and stuff like that. Why would they be going to these places where Imperial troopers are, if not to protect something like cloning or a lab or some type of scenario where they have information and data? Like, I mean, the whole series of The Mandalorian kicked off with Werner Herzog's character with troopers trying to take Grogu, Baby Yoda. So you can't start with that and then never talk about it again.
Yeah, and I don't know if we missed this or we talked about it and forgot, but one of the guys from that Shadow Council, he plays an Imperial warlord. He's like the bald dude who looks like Telly Savalas. His name is Johnny Coyne. He's reportedly with Deadline. This was last December that he's in the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Which means he's from that council, which is what I said.
Yeah, I know.
Dude,
So
I'm
we'll
killing
see.
it tonight. I don't know if it's because I'm sick. Like, this is weird. Killing it.
What are you killing? What is this? So you're taking credit for the breakfast sandwich. You're taking credit for this
Basically.
entire episode.
I am the resistance.
Oh my god.
Anyway, that's it for Will of the Force. Let's get into the discussion. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Obi-Wan once thought as you do.
I thought that was the segue. You saying, let's get into the discussion, you know?
You
need to
usually
hit the-
say something. You usually go,
need me to hit the
let's do
button?"
it. Oh yeah. Sure. All right.
Oh, is this part 2 of episode 600 of the Resistance broadcast? Just roast John day? Is that what we're doing? Worst episode in the history of the podcast.
Stop.
All right. No, we had one interview that was bad because our guest had horrible internet, but
Oh my god. I had a mental breakdown afterwards, but we're not going to talk about that. Literally crying.
all right. Yes, so we're going to have some fun. Let's talk about unsung heroes of Star Wars. Now, I'm not talking about people that you talk about already. I'm not talking about Rose's sister. We're not talking about Tali Lentra. We're not talking about people that we often hear about as being part of the cause and stuff like that. We're going to dig a little deeper into people who it might be a little quirky, it might be a little 6 degrees of, it might be incidental, but either way, there are countless examples of characters in the story of Star Wars who in some way helped our main heroes fulfill their destiny of defeating evil. So we're not doing a Kessel run. Those will come back. It's been a while. Those will come back. But we're just going to chat it out and point out some examples. We're not going to list all of them. So I hope you have a bunch based on, when you hear the ones that we're going through, things that some that align with that type of theme. So definitely let us know whether you're on Patreon or in the comments on YouTube or in the comments on Spotify. Let us know your picks because we're definitely not going to get to them all. But we probably have some really cool and fun ones. So, Lacey, I'll start things off to get this one out of the way because I know you're going to roll your eyes about it. My first unsung hero of Star Wars is Jacked Fish, the Sando Aqua monster. Because if Jacked Fish doesn't grab and eat the Oppie Sea Killer, there's a good chance Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Jar Jar don't make it out of the planet core. That thing had them sucked in, reeling them in, about to eat that whole bongo. And then Jack Fish is like, not today, pal. Because I was late to Galaxy's Edge and I didn't get my breakfast wrap. So it's time to eat an Oppie Sea Killer. And Jack Fish took care of business, which allowed the Jedi to carry on, meet Anakin, and continue the story. So yeah, I'm starting with Jack Fish.
Do you make up these topics to see like how can I get Jacked Fish into this
No.
episode?
No, actually,
How can I do it?
Jack Fish didn't come to mind at first. And then I was thinking about the prequels. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, dude, that was such a clutch move.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those. I'm sure there's a technical term for it with writing. It's like a perfect, everything falls into place situational, if you will.
Serendipitous.
Sure. That I think a lot of these characters are going to fall under with unsung heroes, but he did do something noble by killing another animal to let Jar Jar and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon go on their way for their adventure.
And it wasn't consciously. He was just like, oh, I see that thing. I like how those taste. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat it. And it just happened to be the perfect timing.
I guess my question is with unsung heroes, wouldn't you want people that have consciously made the right choice? Or are you saying no? Okay.
No.
So you're just saying
all
anybody
kinds.
that played a role.
Look, I have lists here. There are some that are conscious. There are some that have no consciousness whatsoever. And there are some that inadvertently were right place, right time for our hero. So I'm all over the map. There's no rules.
All right, fine. So I have actually 2 choices that are very similar, and it's funny that they fall under kind of the same bucket of action. But the first one is in Andor with the people that fixed the locked door on one of the best episodes where the guy's trying to get in the security office for at the
At the Senate.
Yeah, but like it's the office, I think, with all the communications or security
Oh
office or
yeah.
something. And he's like, "This door's been broken for months." And they're like, "Yeah, and you put a ticket in, so we fixed it." And they kind of looked at each other. And I know there's been a question, and we talked about this on the K2S show. You can go back and listen to it, um, of whether or not they were part of the rebellion. And I genuinely don't think they were. I think it was their way of rebelling without knowing that they were playing a role in what was needed to let Mon Mothma and crew escape.
Interesting. I like that version, but I also still think they were part of the rebellion. But that's a perfect pick
Yeah.
for this either way. So
Yeah, I just
yeah,
feel, especially because he's like, "This has been broken for months," and she's like, "Yeah, and you put a ticket in." It just makes me think like they just got annoyed and fixed it and didn't know by their annoyance that they helped save the rebellion.
that's up. Well, that's now you're making me think about my day job because it's all about. There's so many. I put a ticket in. Did you put a ticket in? Did you get that
Oh,
ticket?
jeez.
It's like,
I guess
yeah.
I'll lead into my next one just to get it out of the way, which would be the Imperial woman in Solo that lets Solo through the gate.
Yeah,
She didn't have to let him through,
absolutely.
but she
Yeah.
did. Obviously, it didn't work out for Kira, but I mean, she started him on his path of where he ends up. So by letting him through and taking the bribe of the coaxium, she took down the entire empire.
That's a great pick. And she also kept that coaxium and probably like retired.
I know. So not only did she save the galaxy, but also saved Han Solo.
Yeah, what was her name again? I remembered all that crap for Schmodown. I forgot.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
Don't get me started on that. That was torture.
I gotta, Falthina Sherist was her name.
Oh, she has an actual name. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just know she's the
Uh,
lady that's like, put it in the drawer.
Yeah. The coaxium. No, great pick. I love that we're getting some solo stuff in here too. I'm going with, I'm gonna call one out for being Fugazi. And
Mm.
you know, if you listen to TRB, you know I'm not the biggest fan of the From a Certain Point of View books being canon.
I feel like this whole conversation is from a certain point of view book.
Well, we're using real canon and explaining why it works. But and this one, that story about R5D4 talking to R2D2 and then purposely sabotaging his motivator so they pick R2D2 so that he can go forward with the plans. That's a very clever story. I'm not criticizing it at all. I think that's so smart, clever, and funny. I just don't like that it's canon. That's all. And like
Some stuff's more fun when it's just like headcanon or something you come up
just
with,
yeah,
or
why
hey, I
think
think
those
this. It's just more fun.
yeah, those stories should be like visions where it's like that's great, but it's not canon. Like I'm totally fine with that. But like, you know, you get the stormtroopers with the jock itch and stuff. It's getting crazy. But I got to go with a more conscious one. Now that you know we did inadvertence and conscious, but Dexter Jetster, I don't think gets enough credit. He's loved in a glup shitto way, which is still a thing I don't understand. But if he doesn't if he doesn't identify that saber dart for Obi-Wan, then the Jedi never find out about the clone army in advance. And I think that was a really important moment. So it's like Obi-Wan had this friendship with this diner owner, and the fact that he was able to help Obi-Wan with that information for a planet that was gone from the Jedi archives, that was huge. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that. He gets more of the like, oh, we love Dexter because he's a diner owner and he's like kind of gross and cool and stuff like that. But yeah, I like Dex.
Nice. I'm going to pick the Rathtars from Force Awakens because without the Rathtars, they wouldn't have gotten away from the death gangs.
That's true.
So
Yeah,
those
that's
guys
very
were
true.
rolling all over the place, eating bad guys, allowing for our good guys to get away.
Yeah, I mean, and thankfully, Rey used the Force. Was that her first use of the Force? Maybe to
So
like,
that's when she frees Finn, I think is the first hint because it's like he goes, "You did the thing with the thing," and she goes, "That was lucky," and it's just like clearly not lucky. You have the Force,
yeah,
and it was like a very feeling moment. I meant to go back a while ago and like listen to the music to see if there's some type of Force theme or something that plays at that moment or a little inkling of something. I'm pretty sure that's what they're hinting at. The way that she goes,
Yeah,
that was lucky. Like, no,
some
you're
people
sensitive.
might say her flying the Falcon too, because she just had these like instincts and stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, that moment, like they definitely like focused on her hitting that button at the right time and stuff. That's a good Raftars is a good pick. That's actually a scene that has really grown on me over time. I actually didn't like that scene at first.
Really? The
Yeah,
Harrison Ford punch gets me every time I start laughing.
Oh yeah, I think what bothered me is that when you and I were watching it, and I forget when, it might have been during our commentary that we did for it. You made fun of Harrison Ford's old man run, and I was like, oh no, I see it now. Oh no.
I love it though. I'm making fun of it in a genuine, like, I love it way.
Oh yeah, you could tell his knees hurt though.
You
But
could tell he was doing the icy hot later and doing an ice bath.
exactly. Yeah. So I'm gonna stick with Han-ish stuff, because he was hauling those Rathars. And I'm gonna say Han Solo's Tauntaun. I think because that
Audio
Tauntaun,
listeners, that was John. John made that noise. One more time.
I think
What just
I should have gotten my slippers that they sent me. That I have the Tauntaun slippers.
I know.
He's still alive. They keep your feet warm. They smell fine. But it helped him find Luke first of all, and then when it died, it kept Luke alive.
It did.
Han Solo's Tauntaun. So you gotta give respect to that Tauntaun. Luke's didn't fare so well. The Wampa took it out of business, but Han's Tauntaun, I don't know if that was a favorite Tauntaun of his, and he's like, this is my horse type of thing. But that thing did work, and it saved Han. It saved Luke in more ways than one. So I'm going with Han Solo's Tauntaun as an unsung
Did
hero.
he get in there too, or just Luke?
I think just Luke, and then Han set up the camp. He's like, this will keep you warm until I can set up the camp or something like that.
Oh.
I don't think Han would ever
Right,
get in
because
there.
the Tauntaun dies because of the cold. It like can't take it anymore.
Yeah, it just sort of goes.
With amazing work done by Phil
Yeah.
Tippett.
Oh, the best. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many things that we could, if we really want to get crazy with it, an obvious choice for me would be Evie. What's the guy that's the evil droid in Jabba the Hutt's palace? The guy that's torturing like the Gonk droid.
Was that EVE9 or something like that?
EVE9. I couldn't remember the last two digits. Him, because he gives R2D2 the bartending job. He could have had R2D2 tortured. He could have had him made into parts. He could have had to put him in the, Rancor cleaning crew.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He made him a bartender, which got him on the barge, which then made sense because he had Luke's lightsaber. So he's
That's a
just
good
serving
point.
drinks. But because he, threw out some sass and then had a tray put on him, he was in the right place at the right time.
Look, we've talked about this for a very long time. You and I both overall really like the sequel trilogy. But we both admit, aside from 3PO in Episode 9, R2 and 3PO were not used, and they were right there to use for so much comic relief.
It's
and
so
they,
easy, yeah.
Like having those two not together for most of the sequel trilogy is more insane to me than Han and Luke not seeing each other. Honestly.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. That
I mean, it's weird that they're
so...
separated. It's weird that they're separated 100%. I don't know if I would, if I was given the choice, I don't know if I would choose them over Han, Luke, and Leia being together again.
But it's crazy.
That being said, I do agree with you that they provide such funny comedic moments, some of the funniest moments in the whole series that are missed. And I think it's because, they pushed BB-8, who I adore, so hard, but BB-8 doesn't come across as funny. He comes across as like a lovable puppy. Like he doesn't come across as like sassy and snarky. And I've been around for a long time. So I agree with you. I wish the two of them got together more, because R2 was used in The Last Jedi in a way that was important, and I loved the moments that they had with him. But it makes me sad that he wasn't with C-3PO.
Yeah, and I hope when they do bring them back, because they will come back for sure, in the Rey movies or Simon Kimber, who knows?
Yeah.
I hope that they recognize that, and maybe we should do a full discussion on that in the future, though. I think we hashed it out nicely again right now. But I have a few more. I don't know if you had any more, but I can run
I
through
really
them
don't.
quick.
So why don't you run through the rest of yours, and then we can get to what's next.
All right, I'm going with the stormtrooper who bought C-3PO's bogus story about needing maintenance in the Death Star. He's like, he just let them
Oh,
leave.
all right.
Meanwhile, the whole Empire's looking for droids. So the guy's like, all right. He just lets them go. Because then, if not, Han, Luke, and Leia are smashed in the garbage compactor.
They're
Done.
crushed.
I also am going to thank the engineer who installed the autopilot on the N1 Naboo starfighters, because without autopilot, Anakin never would have went to the Trade Federation to blow up the Trade Federation ship. So good job to that engineer.
The guy's like, oh, I'm just going to leave the autopilot in here. They're like, hey, Bob,
We're
take
just
that
gonna
out. He's
install
like,
an
"Eh,
autopilot.
no."
You know, in case our Naboo fighters, they don't get into a lot of wars. They want to take a snooze. Let's do an autopilot. And then I'm going to go with an obvious one, Nanta, the Ewok who dies on screen in Return of the Jedi, because nobody
Oh,
speaks his name, and his name is Nanta, and that needs to be known.
Nanta.
We got to give one shout out to a Rancor, so I'm going to go with a Rancor in Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett. Helped Boba Fett wreck some house and reestablish what was going on Tatooine.
I love me some
and then
Rancors.
yeah, Rancor's rock.
like
And Johnny loves his Power of the Force Rancor. We
That
were
makes
playing
me
with it
so
before.
happy.
Yeah, he's loving that thing. And then I have two more. I have Admiral Ozzel for flying too close to the system. I headcanon that he was a rebel spy, and he was actually doing that to help out the rebels so that they can evacuate Hoth. And then my last one might be a little cheesy, but I feel like nobody thanks the Force itself. It's always believe in the Force, use the Force, trust in the Force, but no one ever says thank the Force. And the Force does it all. So, unsung hero, literally the Force. Well, that's all I got. But
Excellent
let us
choices.
know. You too. Really, really good picks. This was a lot of fun, and we can definitely revisit this because there's plenty more.
Mhm.
But let us know in the comments, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, you can email us, Patreon, Discord server, social media, quote tweet the episode with your picks. That'd be awesome. And let us know your unsung heroes, whether it's obvious or conscious or inadvertent. Hope you enjoyed this little discussion, but the fun doesn't stop there, because we're going to close things out with a round of resistance transmissions.
My favorite. It's been a while since we've done this, guys. This is my favorite segment. I love this. This is my favorite thing to do ever. If I say favorite one more time, I'm gonna quit the podcast. Okay. So anyway, the way this works is John puts up a crazy, wacky situation on Twitter or X, Blue Sky, etc., that you guys then give your answers to. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what you said, and we read it live. And sometimes I'm unable to get through it. Sometimes it's emotional, fun, funny, etc. Whatever. It's great. So, first up is the situation. From the obvious, oh no, that's the first segment. From pick any Star Wars character in an away message you think they would probably have up if they had AOL AIM in a galaxy far, far away. Oh my God, what a throwback. Did you ever do this?
Lacey, let me tell you something.
Were you moody enough to do this?
When I was in college, I didn't have a cell phone. So I would literally just go by my away message, be like, at blank if you want to find me, or that type of thing.
So you were the guy that was like, I'm not around, leave a message.
Yeah, I would usually probably get more. I'm always very expressive, so I'd like try to be referential
Were you doing
to things
like
or something like that.
uppercase, lowercase, star, 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 uppercase, lowercase,
No, come on.
different characters,
No, I
song
definitely
lyrics?
did colored themes though. Like I would do like Orange and Black or stuff like
I
that.
definitely did song lyrics. I am so guilty of
Oh,
that. It was a vibe.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It was a vibe. All right. Do you remember your AIM screen name?
I do.
What is it?
It was so annoying. So I got AOL in like 1996 or whatever, and I was, obviously a young lad, and I was using my
Oh,
parents'
no.
internet and stuff like that. And I was obsessed with the movie Scream, and my favorite character was named Stu. So my AOL screen name was Screamy Stu.
Oh, mine was like a bunch of like numbers. I think mine was like
Oh,
girly 13752, or I had Lace Girl 2210 at some point. Like Lace Girl was my username, but those days are gone. Tear. Those were magical days, like when you just leave it up and your parents were like, I need to use the phone. You're like, no, that means I have to log off. It'd be like a whole thing. Anyway, so that's the situational. First up is Neil Shaw at neilshaw.bluesky.social. What up, Neil? He said, Kylo Ren, BRB, working out shirtless. Don't think about Force calling me. And he put BRB in a little asterisk. All right. Andrew Staley at andrewstaley.bluesky.social. What up, Andrew? He said, Palpatine, asterisk, asterisk, BRB, asterisk, asterisk. No, seriously, somehow I will. Next is Padawan Michael in the Discord. What up, man? He said, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you don't need to reach my destination. I am not the Jedi you're looking for. And it's all in caps.
All caps.
Oh my God, I love this. I'm starting to see like symbols and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Christy from Discord, what up, Christy, said Din Djarin. It said like little, I forget what they're called. They're like ñes
Tilde?
in Spanish.
Alright.
Tilde. And it's like squiggle, BRB, squiggle. And then it's like cross, cross, cross. I am away, cross, 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 cross. This is the way, cross, cross, cross. It's very kind of artistic. Next is Sean at Rude Cold. What up, Sean? He said Chewbacca. Space, space, space. Exclamation point, exclamation point. Next is Divided Skywalker on the TRB base Discord. What up, Divided Skywalker?
So wait, I gotta preface this. So I don't know if Twitter is dying. I've heard reports that 80% of the accounts are bots. But
I told you that before, and that is true.
Oh, okay. Thank you. We used to get so many resistance transmissions on X, like responses, and we got like nothing on this one. So I had to take it to the base. And let me tell you, Divided Skywalker fired off like 8 of them. And it was really tough to pick one, but this is one I picked. But Lacey, after the show, like go into the main chat and you'll see all the ones that people submitted.
Divided Skywalker said sword emoji, cross Anakin Skywalker, pre-Vader emo mode. And it was like, this is what I was talking about. It's like an asterisk and then dots. And then, so it's like a wave design, which is what people always did for the youngins listening. Don't try to reach me. No one understands, ... Not even her. Oh, it was like guys, AIM was like the original subtweet. It was the original, like,
true.
I'm talking to you and you
Yeah.
know I'm talking about you, but if you ask me, I'm going to deny it. It's not you. It's just a song.
Yeah.
And so then she has the symbols again, and it says now playing Numb by Linkin Park.
Anakin's were listening to Numb.
Yeah. That's a great song, though. All right. And last but not least is Frank Grande. What up, man? He said, Saw Gerrera, you have no idea where I am. I gotta tell you, I start laughing from time to time about that because, like, I never really considered it until we had the conversation about it, where he's just like, "You don't know where I am," and they're like, "We know where we know where you are." It's like an SNL skit where he's like, "You don't know," and they're like, "Yes, we do." You're standing in front of the Jeddah sign. Like, what are you doing? Anyway,
Didn't
guys,
James
thank
make
you.
that image?
Did he? I just know that he made the joke, and I didn't realize it until he said it out loud. Like, because you just walk into Andor with such like a serious mind frame that like you don't realize it until he brought it up, and I was like, "Oh my God, you're so right. This is so ridiculous." Guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. If you want to be a part of the show, stay tuned for more opportunities. We'll try to break through the noise apparently on social media, but we'll try to post these also on Instagram, maybe get some responses on there as well. But thank you so much. Back to you, John.
Yeah, this was a good show. A lot of fun, a lot of laughs. So I hope everybody else had a good time listening or watching or however you get down with TRB. Thanks for making us a part of your week, and hopefully we were able to launch your weekend off in a good mood. So make sure, like we said before, you're subscribed, all that good stuff. We can appreciate your support more, honestly. It means so much to us. We do need to give a special shout out to the Generals and Spice Runners on Patreon. The Generals are Carmelo, John Reese, Jetta Rosewater, Frank Grande, Chris Morales, Mike Ramori, Brendan McLaughlin, Sneaky Zebra, Dave Hornack, Colin Cormier, Stephen Garrow, and Darth Snips. And the Spice Runners, David Probus, Neil Shaw, Kendall Gellner, Andrew Staley, Jeremy Myers, the Fort Worthian, and Brian Smith. And Lacey, it must be known as we head into the weekend, that you and I have both started off 1-0 in the TRB Fantasy Football League. So
I
good
know,
job to
and
you.
I have to
Off to a
be
good
honest.
start.
I did call John for some advice on the football team. I was like,
Yep.
"So does this mean this, or like, what should I do about this?" And John's like, "I don't know. Read the descriptions of what it says." Like,
No, I was
don't-
nice. Don't even act like I wasn't being nice. But we
I'm just
weren't
kidding. He was actually
colluding.
very nice. We
She's
were
like, if
not.
there's a Q next to his name, and I'm like, all right. But that's it. Lacey, where can people hit you up to talk about all this Star Wars goodness we talked about today?
I just remember how on the phone you were like, "What player is it?" And I was like, I don't. Hold on, let me put you on speakerphone."
I think his name was London.
People can find me on social media at Lacey Gillerin and at It's Lacey Gillerin. Yeah, that's where you can talk to me about all things social media. Well, not really social media, all things Star Wars and pop culture. And yeah. Oh, I do want to do a little plug. Next Wednesday on 9/17, I am releasing a podcast that I produced, which I'm really excited about, called the Etchcast. I'm not on it, but I might make an appearance at the end.
All right.
But if you guys could show some love to it, I really appreciate it because I did put a lot of work into it. It's if you like horror movies and filmmaking and stuff like that, it's going to be the spot for you. It's called Etchcast, and I might make some appearances on later episodes. They've asked me to come on for a couple of things, but I'm just really proud to do some
Very
cool stuff.
nice.
Thanks.
Good stuff. For me, it's just this. That's it.
That's not true.
No. Johnny Hoey on Blue Sky is the main spot, as Twitter seems to just be getting worse and worse, sadly.
The worst. Just videos of people dying all the time.
I'm always active on the TRB Discord server, so
Mhm.
tag me, if you want to chat in our various channels there. And Nerdy and Nice with Lacey on Monday. We are going to have a good one. So be sure, if you love TRB, whether you're new or old to TRB, and you like all the other stuff going on in movies and TV, check out Nerdy and Nice. It comes out on Mondays, every Monday, and it's on its own podcast feed and right here on the TRB YouTube channel. And then my movie podcast, Just Like the Movies. We put out an episode yesterday on Catch Me If You Can. All right, that is it. We'll be back with you next week, as always. Probably back on Thursday, unless I fall ill this time, but hopefully not, because I'm just loaded up on zinc and emergency and all that good stuff. But have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next time right here on the Resistance broadcast. See you around, kids.